The eighth part of the serve is to swing from the racket drop up to your contact point. So here I am in the racket drop, got the tennis racket pointed straight down at the court, and I fully pushed off my legs. And I'm going to start by swinging up at the tennis ball with the edge of my frame. So it's as if I'm swinging up, trying to frame the tennis ball, hit it on the side of the racket. And you can see that here, that my racket is still on edge. We can see the strings. And the other key to this body position is that the racket and my arm form an L shape. Every good server gets to this position where the relationship between the tennis racket and the hitting arm looks like an L. Now, to get to contact from this position, I'm going to do something called pronate, which means twisting the racket face from on edge to making the strings open to the tennis ball. And that's what I've done in this next frame at contact. I've pronated. We're not going to focus on pronation in this video because the next video focuses exclusively on that. Let's go back to the racket drop, and the other thing you'll see that goes on as I swing up at the tennis ball is that my upper body rotates back towards the net. So from the racket drop, I'm sideways now, and then at contact, I've rotated back towards the net. So from the racket drop to get to contact, to recap, I swing up on edge at the tennis ball, my body rotates back towards the net, and then at the very last second, I pronate to make contact with the ball. Let's watch some high-speed footage of Oliver Ackley swinging from the racket drop up to contact. We've started him in his trophy pose, and now he's in his racket drop, and the racket's behind his back, can't even see it. And he swings up at the tennis ball by first swinging up on edge with the side of his frame, and let's freeze it here, and he's in that L position we talked about, and from here he's going to pronate. He's going to rotate the racket so that he can make contact with the tennis ball with his strings. So let's rewind it back to the racket drop. Watch his swing one more time. He starts up on edge, and then at the last second, he pronates. Let's go back to the racket drop and focus on the other element, which is the body rotation. As he swings up at the tennis ball, his upper body goes from sideways to facing the net when he's at contact. Let's jump back in the FYB time machine and watch how John McEnroe swings from the racket drop up to his contact point. Here he is in his racket drop, and the tennis racket is pointed down at the court behind him. He's fully pushed off his legs, his body is sideways, and his shoulders are level. And now in this next shot, he's begun to swing up at the tennis ball, and his racket and his hitting arm form that L relationship we talked about, and the racket is still on edge. Now McEnroe is at contact, so he's pronated to hit the tennis ball, and he's also rotated his upper body so he's back facing the net now. And why don't we split screen McEnroe's racket drop and his contact point, and you can see again he's sideways in the racket drop, but he's rotated back towards the net when he is at contact. So to recap, from the racket drop, you need to swing up on edge, pronate, and rotate your body back towards the net to get to your contact point.